Ed Thayer, along with two of his metal art students, Connie Smith and Todd Lampman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you won the National Steampunk Reality Competition, and you brought your talents back home, opened up a studio,
Right?
and you're teaching it.
Yeah, I had to do something. But no, this is kind of like an after-hours program from 6 to 9, 3 hours a night for 3 nights. And so this was our first project, and the whole class went really, really well. So it's the same project, but yeah, everybody got to do it their own way. So his is different from her. Everybody's is different. And but the main reason is to teach techniques, not just to do a particular project, but to teach techniques that they can do to make other artwork. So I'm not just teaching projects, I'm teaching skills, I'm teaching them how to use the tools, and that you don't have to have a $100,000 fabrication shop to build and create nice art.
But it helps.
But it helps.
Well, these are pieces that your students created, and we have two of your students here. Connie, I believe you're a dentist.
Yes.
So this doesn't seem like it's right up your alley. How did you become interested in metal art?
Well, Todd, my decorator, called me one day and said, how would you like to do some metal art and learn to weld and do plasma cutting? And I said, I'm in. So I'm, doing a lot of fun things like painting, and I really enjoyed this. I'm used to working in very small spaces. In dental school we soldered gold, we cast gold, finished and polished. And this is metal art on a grander scale. And Eddie was wonderful. He was patient. I've never held a welding tool before or a plasma cutter, but I had a great time. I really enjoyed it, and I'm a newbie, total newbie.
And Todd, you are as well. You're an interior decorator, designer. Yes. So this is, well, I guess, you're creating pieces for your spaces.
Correct. And I've just always wanted to do a little bit of metal work. I haven't had any metal working since high school when they had metal shop. And so when Eddie had said he was interested in starting a class, I was like, well, that's going to be the perfect time to learn how to do plasma cutting, the welding, so forth. And then with my friend Connie, who's also my dentist, small town. But when I had asked her about it, because she's pursuing all kinds of different arts in her life right now. So she's taking some oil painting classes with Ave. So I asked her if she'd be interested in doing something like this. She knocked it out of the park. Because again, it's something similar to what she does for a living, just on a grander scale.
Well, this I can tell because I am able to see it really up close. You've got a ton of detail, like in the leaves of these sculptures. So what are the different skills? Grinding?
So what we did was, so the detail on the leaves, after we cut out the leaves, then we use a block of wood and a chisel to put all these lines in there so they're nice and straight, and it kind of automatically just curls the metal, gives it a more natural look. And so every aspect of it was different. Like they got to use the plasma cutter to cut out the petals, and then they hand cut most of the leaves.
The girls ended up, they were smarter and used the plasma cutter. I did everything by hand.
Like scissors?
Well, tin snips.
Tin snips.
Yeah. So I cut out all my petals with the tin snips, my edges of my leaves with the tin snips.
And you've got really smooth edges on some of these.
Yeah, so it's still got to be somewhat safe, unless you put a first aid kit below them.
You together created these.
And it was like there was no specific lengths on the rod. I'm like, just cut up some rod and let's make it. There's no specific to anything. So they just cut up rod and started bending it, and
well, he had the original piece, and then from that we all used it as an inspiration piece, And as you can see, Connie's is slightly different than mine. Mine's different yet than what Eddie's was. Joan's was yet different. So each of us put our own kind of artistic spin on what he had started. And in that picture that's up on your screen right now, you can see the three of us with our three pieces, and they're all three slightly different.
Joan Shaughnessy in the middle.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Joan, and she already has experience. She's taken some other welding classes, and she makes a little bit of her own artwork, and so this is kind of like an advanced class for her. And now we're just going to keep stepping up different levels. I wanted to keep the first class small because I wanted to learn, you know, what's it going to take to be hands-on, make sure everybody's safe, and we all have a good time. And this group right here was incredible. We laughed so much. We just had a terrific time, and we all created stuff, and we're all encouraging each other, and it was just great. And then not only that, but then I'm trying to explain to them, you could do this every day part-time in your own garage and make money at it. You don't have to worry about, I mean, you can start an Etsy account and put the stuff online and
So you could sell this. So what this looks like it would be, I don't know, I can't guess, but it's got, you know, I would say $700 of value.
oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So it's you don't need you know, minimum equipment and time, and be creative, and to me that's what I'm really trying to get across, is how to be creative, how to use tools, how to, you know, if you got a vision in your head, you can make it happen.
Well,
So-
for Connie and Todd, what is it like to be able to have as your teacher the steampunk champion?
It's amazing. He is fun, and he plays heavy metal music while we're welding. So we've got Bon Jovi playing, and so it's very energizing.
The other thing is he made it very comfortable for new people learning how to do this, because I mean, some of these tools we're using are pretty damaging and dangerous. I mean, you can get burned, you can get cut, so you have to wear all the protective gear. And so that's what he was basically just showing us, is all the basics of what you need to do, and then you can kind of branch off on your own and
I'm pretty
do your own
impressed.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful
Well,
work.
You haven't seen nothing yet. Our future class, and we're going to be teaching more extravagant stuff. Like this is a good beginner's class right here, and just enough to get your feet wet and say, okay, I'm comfortable with these tools, but we're gonna push out some pretty incredible stuff, and it's all gonna be one of a kind. I'm not gonna cut a bunch of stuff on my plasma cutter and we weld it together. Everybody's gonna do this by hand. I don't want to use my CNC plasma machine for any kind of artwork. So that's what, and that's what I'm teaching. You don't need all this fancy equipment. You can do it with your own two hands,
So
with
how
minimum
long-
equipment.
So how long does the class, how many hours go into creating all this?
It's 9 hours total, but it's broke up into 3 evenings, 6 to 9 for 3 nights. So 3 hours a night for 3 nights, and that way you're not pressed to get, you know.
Right.
So
So Connie, what are you going to do with your piece?
Well, my piece is sitting on one of my tables at home
Okay.
as a true centerpiece. And Eddie mentioned that he's painting his, and that sounds interesting to me. I think I might want to paint mine.
That sounds neat. And
Yeah.
what about
Yeah.
you, Todd? What are you going to do with your piece?
I am probably going to replicate something, or talk to him about it, of putting a ring on the bottom of it somehow. And I want to try and put it on my grandparents' headstone. They have a vase that's attached to their headstone, and I want to put that out at the cemetery,
Very cool.
because I think it'd be beautiful with the snow on it.
And be
So I'm probably going
permanent.
to clear coat mine.
Well, great to see you guys. Congratulations on the beautiful work. And Eddie, thanks for sharing your students and your class with us.
absolutely. So now I'm going to start scheduling the classes and stuff.
All right, and you get details. Eddie's all over the internet. Track them down. Thanks to Ed Thayer, Connie Smith, and Todd Lampman. That's it. We're all out of time. On Thursday, instead of this show, we'll have college baseball from Jackson College. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow from JC.